You spoke about creating a great first impression. Any tips on how to do that? It depends on the context, Jabo, so it depends on where you are and what you do. One of the things which it's not a trick, it's just something that I do before, let's say, speaking or before workshops, when we sell in-person workshops. Let's say before a talk. Again, people find talking or meetings scary because sometimes you have to stand up and they're sitting down, you're facing them, you're open, they're kind of closed, right? They're kind of behind each other, there's this big herd look at you, can be very scary. And people decide, I truly believe this, people decide within a couple of seconds whether they're gonna like you or not. And you can still change that later on, but that first impression doesn't matter a lot. So if you leave a really bad first impression, not saying that can't change, it just takes a lot of energy. So how do you create a great first impression? Depends on the context. Here's what I do before talks or before workshops. I go quite early and I meet lots of people before we even get into that main room. Everybody sits down, you come up and everybody, so here's Yuri from the Magic Soul, is gonna talk about innovation, you come out. Before I even get up there, let's say there's an audience of 100 people. I want to make sure I already meet a handful of people just during the break over coffee. It's different. You're not on stage. You're at the same level where they are. You're just in that little, that little coffee corner in that hotel, and you're just having a chat. You're saying, some have a name badge. You go, "Oh, Andy, right? Hi. I don't think we've met. My name's Yuri. I'll be talking about this and this." Meeting a couple of people, casual banter. What then happens is there's two things. One, you get a bit more insight around them, like around the context or the group or the client or the company, which will help you when you present, when you talk. The other one is, I now will have met Andy and Gordon and Jabulani. I've met a couple of people in there that by the time I've had a chat with you, by the time I get up there, also does two things. One, I already see a couple of friendly faces in the audience. And this is, I don't think you can go wrong. I mean, if you create an impression with people, you don't have to impress them, but if you just make a connection, you're shaking somebody's hand, you're saying, "Hey, my name is Yuri, nice to meet you." You're being genuine. They're less likely to shit on you. They're less likely to sit in the audience kind of go, "What is this guy talking about? What is this nonsense?" Those faces, because that can throw speakers off. Let's say that you tell a story and your audience just like, I've had this, by the way, just so you know, I've had this so many times. You get nice thick skin from that. But what will happen is, by the time I met you guys, you'll be less likely to not engage what I say. And I can then use you and say, "Oh, interesting. I was talking to Gordon during the break and he said you guys do this in your office." And that creates a bond. So that is one way to create a first impression. But at the end of the day, just be yourself. Just be yourself. Don't be a dick. Be nice. Be kind. And rather than trying to impress people with what you know, to ask questions. Yeah, that will be my simplest one.